This is how I clean a 9,424 row dataset in just a few minutes. This is the only software I've been able to find that is tailored specifically for directory developers, and because of that, it is way faster, more efficient, and far more thorough than any other software that's out there. You just double check that it was correctly able to identify the necessary information and you fill in any gaps. And the more information you add, the better the results will be. Directory Dynamics uses coordinates to make sure that duplicate data really is duplicates, because you could easily have two rows with a similar name that could potentially be in completely different states and it was just a coincidence. Or if you want to remove all rows with less than 10 reviews while guaranteeing that there's at least three pieces of data in a 10-mile radius, it's able to use its location information to guarantee this. It also confirms that all phone numbers and email addresses, if you have them, are formatted correctly. That way, your website gets a nice, consistent look, and it looks for any obviously fake or incorrect numbers and email addresses. So, phone numbers that don't have the correct number of numbers, or maybe email addresses that don't have an at sign. And it confirms that your data set looks consistent without any extra spaces and that the capitalization is consistent. We can see in our very first row that it's lowercase, whereas everything else is title case. And so while cleaning the data, it will make sure that all of that is uniform. And in just 23 seconds, we're able to process all 9,424 pieces of data. And we're able to identify over 1,000 rows of data that need to be deleted. We're able to review the data to make sure that we actually want to delete it. So because this is a data set of hiking trails, I don't want to delete rows that don't have a phone number since most hiking trails don't. So I'm going to keep these ones. But I'm going to look in at the irrelevant data that was flagged, and I can see that most of these are referring to things that aren't going to be hiking trails, like staircases that are in cities, city steps, etc. So I'm going to delete all. I'm also going to trust that the duplicate data and the chronological filtering, which is going to be the delete rows with less than 10 reviews unless it leaves less than three pieces of data in a 10-mile radius. I'm going to assume those are all right. And in just a couple of minutes, we have removed 1,323 rows of bad data from our data set. And this particular data set, which was across the US, I can confidently say left even coverage so that all areas are guaranteed to have something as long as there was data there to begin with. And when we export our file and take a closer look, we can see that it corrected the styling. So it now is in title case. It removed that bad phone number that was an invalid format. And we can see that it successfully removed all of the low quality data. What would normally take days, we just did in a couple of minutes. And I can confidently say this was a lot more thorough than if I were to manually go in and try to do it myself. Again, Directory Dynamics is completely free. You don't even have to sign in or give any of your information. The only thing I ask is that you leave some feedback. So if there's any features that you think are missing, or if there was anything you found confusing, please let me know so that I can make Directory Dynamics even better. Or if you think it's great how it is, go ahead and tell me so that I know I'm doing a good job. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you find this to be as revolutionary for creating directories as I do.